My name's Kathy Todd Brown. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Florida, and I'm a computational biogeochemist. So, computational biogeochemistry, specifically, I work on soil carbon dynamics, and so I make computer models and link up data that simulate how soil breathes. So, to inform my models, I need data. And so I came to ESIP initially with a data problem. I had a bunch of different data sets that were in different formats from different PIs, and I wanted to integrate them all into one sort of harmonized data product that I could then feed into my simulations and my modeling work. And so I came to ESIP around 2019, right before COVID, and I was like, okay, I actually come from a mathematics background, and I've got a little bit of software engineering and computer programming, so I knew a little bit about database design and data management, and I knew that this was not going to be a unique problem. So I came to ESIP going, how are y'all doing this? And started to dive down the semantics, ontology creation world. So that was how I entered into ESIP, was trying to figure out a solution to piece together these different data sets to inform my soil models. I started in the Ag and Climate cluster, just listening to how people are talking about data and how they're describing these different semantic resources and whatnot. And then I wanted to focus a little bit more tightly on soils specifically. So I started a soil ontology and informatics cluster, and just started inviting people in the ESIP community to come talk with me about environmental semantics and how have you done data harmonization, things along those lines. And so I really used the ESIP cluster format as a way to educate greedily myself, but also sort of provide this kind of very specialized seminar-esque series on semantics and harmonization around soils. And so that's grown. We're now in I think we're in our fourth year as a ESIP cluster. We've produced papers. We wrote a paper. We are currently sort of providing a check-in space for a bunch of people who are trying to assemble different soil databases. So what are you working on? What's working for you? What's not working for you? So we're almost providing kind of a knowledge exchange right now. One of the things that I really appreciate about ESIP is the sort of the stress on engagement with the research community, and also sort of the consideration of ethics and sort of the tie-in to data ethics and I want to say environmental justice almost. So just thinking very carefully, not only about sort of the technical aspects of how do we link one thing to another, but the why and the putting it in a human context. I think of environmental pollutions, for example. A lot of that will take up residency in your soil system. And so thinking about how do you monitor that, how do you manage that, how do you mitigate that, that's very much an ethical question and sort of a responsibility as a researcher to be able to address and record and monitor. Soils have, first off, economic values. So how we grow our food, how we filter our water. There's a whole host of environmental services. That's typically how they're framed, that we get from soil. And so knowing more about the soil health and sort of how good those resources are going to be in a particular location affects the environment, the economic valuation of that land. So there's sort of a little bit of an ethical responsibility as researchers of how do you integrate that into your data releases. So typically what a lot of federal agencies will do is they'll release data at maybe the county level. So they won't give you the precise geolocation, but they'll say, in general, this county, we've seen these types of things in the soil data. ESIP is the intersection of environmental science and data. And so if you're a researcher who uses data and you or want to contribute to broader data, the broader data collection, then I think ESIP can be really a valuable place to make those connections and meet those people. If you have questions on where should you send your data, what archive should you use, you're going to find 10 different people who will give you a whole host of possible solutions for these problems. And then also ESIP can be a platform to brainstorm new tools and new methodologies for solving data problems that we have in the field. So it's this wonderful connective space between research, method development, tooling, and you should come.